Hi everybody, welcome back to Marie's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are making no-knead bread, and no-knead bread is truly the greatest invention since sliced bread. It has the best flavor, a great texture, like an artisan bread you bought at a bakery. It is so good and it is so easy. Anyone can make this bread even if you've never made bread before. I can't wait to share it with you. Let's get started. Okay, so for this bread, there's really just 4 steps. We'll mix the ingredients together, we'll let it rise again, and then we bake the bread. So very simple. For the ingredients, I'm gonna use 3 cups of bread flour. If you don't have bread flour, all-purpose flour works. Bread flour just has a higher protein content, which gives the bread a little more structure and helps it rise better. So 3 cups of bread flour. All right, next we'll add 1 tablespoon sugar. And this is going to help feed the yeast. Then 1.5 teaspoons salt. I'm using kosher salt. And then the key at this point is to mix this together, mix the salt and sugar in with the flour, because you don't want the yeast coming in direct contact with the salt, like a big pile of salt with the yeast on top. Salt is very powerful and it can kill the yeast. So let's mix our salt and sugar in before we add the yeast. Now for the yeast, we've got some choices. My favorite right now, and I did a taste test using different kinds of yeast, and far and away the consensus was that the bread made with this particular yeast was the best. So let me show you what it is. It's a rapid rise instant yeast with a dough enhancer. What is a dough enhancer? A dough enhancer is in all grocery store bread that you buy. It's some enzymes that help with moisture, texture, rise. So it does all these little things that just help your bread a little bit. And it really does help. So that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use the instant yeast with the dough enhancer. Instant yeast just has smaller granules than active dry yeast, so instant yeast will activate faster once it gets hit with the water and the sugar. So that's one reason I do like instant yeast. Even if you don't want the dough enhancer, there is a instant yeast you can use, which would be my second choice. And finally, there's active dry yeast, which you also can use. And it's great. Just make sure whichever yeast you're using that they are all not expired. They need to be very fresh to make sure they're gonna work. All right, now we're putting in 1 packet, which comes to 2¼ teaspoons. Now we'll just stir that together. Pretty easy so far, right? All right, now we need warm water. So I'm gonna get 1 cup of warm water from the tap. All right, we've got our warm water. We just wanna make sure it's the right temperature. The key is that you don't want it over 115 degrees. If it's too hot, the water can kill the yeast. So you want it just at about 110 is great. Yeah, looks good. So we're about at 107, which is close enough. To the water, we're going to add 2 tablespoons olive oil. And the reason I do the olive oil with the water is because it makes it a lot easier to mix in with the dry ingredients. So go ahead and add the oil to the water, and then we'll just pour all that in. And then more than likely, you're going to need 2 tablespoons more of water, but just mix it together and see how it looks. So it looks like we are gonna need that 2 more tablespoons of water. Okay, so we'll add 2 tablespoons water. Just drizzle that in, stir that up. Okay, now at this point, you can see it looks really shaggy, which is fine. Sometimes it's just so helpful to have a visual of like what's going on. So that was really my goal today, to show you like, okay, this is what it should look like. The recipes say like, you should have a shaggy ball of dough. I'm like, what does that even look like? So now I'm showing you. Now, even if it feels kind of dry at this point, go ahead and bring it together just to make sure everything gets hydrated. So you mix it together into a ball like this. There we go. Just kind of that's definitely a shaggy ball of dough, right? Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. So now we're gonna oil a clean bowl. And I'm also gonna put a little bit of oil on the bread. It just makes it easier to handle. Just bring that together in a ball like this. There we go. Here's our ball of dough, like that. Now this goes into my clean bowl over here, put it face down, give it a little twist in the oil, shape it into a ball, and drop it in there. Now we're gonna cover with saran wrap. Let me rinse my hands. I love that working with this bread and the olive oil, my hands are always so moisturized. Okay, now we're gonna cover with saran wrap. And then you need to let it rise for about 6 hours. Now it can be up to overnight. So I would recommend, if you want to make this, either make it in the evening, go to sleep. In the morning when you wake up, bake your bread and you'll have fresh warm bread in the morning. Or make the dough first thing in the morning and then you can bake it in the afternoon and have it ready for dinner. It's just so convenient and you don't have to do anything. Making the dough is all you have to do. We're done. We're gonna let this rise for 6 hours. The yeast is gonna do all the work and it just makes the most incredible flavor when you have this slow fermentation like this. So I'm gonna set this aside in a kind of a warm spot, set it by the window, set it outside if it's a warm day, and let that rise for 6 hours. Oh, my trick lately is to put the time on here so I know when I put it over to rise, because I will forget. So write the time on there with a Sharpie and then you can count out how many hours you have until it's ready. So over to the window. And surprise, I have one ready to go that I made this morning. I made it at 6 o'clock this morning. I'm working really hard for y'all to get you more content, more recipes. So if you're enjoying it, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the hype button. It's on the same same line as the like button. You can hit the hype button. That can really help my channel. So I really appreciate it. All right, so this I made at 6 a.m. So we're just gonna open this up and then punch it down like that. Smells good. It smells like yeast. So now what we're gonna do is take this out of the bowl. You don't want to knead it at this point. If you knead it at this point, you're going to make the gluten really tight. And right now it's just really relaxed. So you just want to stretch it out into kind of a long rectangle, about the same size as your pan. And then usually flip it over and then we will fold it up. We'll close the seam here, just kind of press it together. Then we'll tuck our ends under like that. And then we'll put that in our pan, and I have to mention the pan. It is OXO brand, and it is a metal pan, loaf pan, with a ceramic coating. So it's non-stick, but without all the bad non-stick. So it is incredible. It's one of my favorite purchases this year. I'm gonna put a link below in the description box. If you don't have a loaf pan that you love, get this one. It is so great. It's light, but it has a ceramic coating like you would see in like a ceramic coated cast iron skillet or something. So it's great. OXO brand, highly recommend. I'm gonna put a little oil in there, wipe it around. And now we set this inside our loaf pan, just fitting it in there. So we fit it into our loaf pan like that. Now we'll let this rise for about 30 minutes to an hour. You want the dough to come up just about an inch above the edge of this pan. Not any higher, that would be overproofing. So just till it comes up on top, and it's about 30 minutes, 35 minutes usually, maybe a little longer. So I'm gonna put the dish towel on top and set it over by the window. Okay, I had to run get my daughter, but I'm back and this has risen, so it's ready to go in the oven. Earlier, I think I said it needs to rise for 30 minutes to an hour, and that was a mistake. That's for kneaded bread. This no-knead bread needs more like 1 to 2 hours to rise, so be sure to give yourself that much time. I got confused with the kneaded bread because I've been working on that too. Anyway, here it is. It is, you can see it's just a little bit above the top of the pan. This is actually probably a little bit too high because I was out, I just couldn't get back in time. So really you just want it just a hair over the top of this. You don't want to overproof it. The way you can tell if it's ready for baking is if you press on it and it springs back slowly and leaves a little dent. So this looks good. If it just collapsed, that means that it's overproofed and may have kind of an off flavor. But this smells great. Now this goes in the oven at 375 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. If you have a hot oven, be sure to check it at about 30 to 35, just to be sure it's not burning. All right, to the oven, and I'll see you back in about 40 minutes. Okay, I just got home from picking up my son. So now the bread is ready. I'm gonna grab that out of the oven. Oh, wow. This is beautiful. Look at this beautiful loaf. I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing in here. So nice and golden. Now we'll let this cool for about 5 minutes in the pan, and then you want to take it out and put it on a wire rack and let that cool. Basically, you just don't want to let it sitting in a lot of moisture, which is when the steam is coming off the bread, there's going to be a lot of moisture down in the pan. So 5 minutes in the pan and then move it over to a wire rack, and then we'll cut some and try it. I can't wait to try it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It means so much to me and also to YouTube. That's how they decide if anyone else is going to see this video. So hit the like button, hit the hype button, and then subscribe. Also hit the bell button for notifications. That way you won't miss any of the videos that I have coming up, and I have a lot of good ones that I'm excited for you to see. For this recipe and more, head over to my website, marieseva.com. There you can go and print out this recipe and all my recipes, and if you like, put them in a notebook and make your very own Marie's Kitchen cookbook for free. You'll see on this pan, it just falls right out. Oh, isn't that nice? Best pan ever. I highly recommend. Isn't this beautiful? Look at that loaf of bread. Why would you ever buy bread again? And it's no knead. So like I said, make it in the evening, bake it in the morning, or make it in the morning and bake it in the afternoon. Okay, let's cut a slice. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Nice crisp crust, but still so nice and soft. Oh, yum.
What's that, Jack?
So good. That was it?
Yes.
What do we think?
Really good.
Really good.
It tastes really buttery. Is there butter on here?
There's no butter in here.
Really
It's just that yummy flavor of the slow fermentation from the no-knead. I can't wait. I know it does smell so good.
Maybe the whole house smells good.
I can't wait for you to try it. Let me know if you do, or if you plan to, leave me a comment. I can't wait to hear from you. My goal is to give you some really easy recipes that turn out great every time, so you can build some confidence in the kitchen and feel really inspired to share good food with people that you love. From my kitchen to yours, thank you.